Section 7 of Psalm 119 is an interesting reflection on memory and remembering. There are things in life that we're to forget, and there are things in life that we shouldn't forget. And the word remember appears 3 times in verses 49 to 56. Firstly, God remembers his people. Remember your word to your servant, for you have given me hope. My comfort in my suffering is this: your promises preserve my life. Of course, God's cannot forget, but when it's applied to God, it's in the sense of paying attention to, or God working on behalf of. In Genesis, he remembered Noah and rescued him from the flood. When Daniel found out a promise in Jeremiah that God would release the people of Israel from captivity, he not only believed it, but he began to pray for that promise to be fulfilled. Faith isn't just believing the promise, but beginning to pray for God to work. And so God remembers his people. And secondly, we are to remember God's word. Verse 52, I remember, Lord, your ancient laws, and I find comfort in them. He knew the ancient laws because it had been taught from generation to generation. Paul writes to Timothy in 2 Timothy 2:2 and says effectively, keep teaching it to the next generation, keep passing it on. Verse 53, the psalmist struggles with what he sees around him, but he would respond in verse 454 with songs that he sung based on God's words. And he saw God's word as a blessing to share, just like that amazing church's response during lockdown with the UK blessing song. Your decrees are the theme of my song. Thirdly, we're to remember God's name. Verse 55. In the night, Lord, I remember your name, that I may keep your law. And God's name, Jehovah, Yahweh, I am, it has a dynamic meaning that can be paraphrased. I am present. I am actively present. And I can do what I choose when I choose to. So let's remember God's name. So ask God to remember us and work on our behalf, because the name of the Lord is a strong tower, and the righteous run into it and are safe. Amen.